As always, I've separated our notes into bullish and bearish. So let's go over the bullish notes first. So the first note that I have is why there could be one more impulsive wave. And I just want to go over this Elliott wave comparison to 2020. So let's go and move back over to early 2021 actually. And if I just go and zoom in here, you can see that this was the first impulsive wave that we had for Sandbox. It consisted of 5 different waves of Elliott wave theory, and you can see wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And then at the top right here, you started to form this M formation, a bit of bearish divergences up here, and it started to show, weakness in the price before the large move down. Now, if we go and move over to the most recent impulsive wave that we're seeing, what you can see is a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, and we still haven't gotten that wave 5, nor have we touched the top of that level of resistance just yet. So I do think that there is one more impulsive wave, and I'll show you some more evidence as to why I think that. So the next piece of evidence is the RSI, stochastic RSI, and the TDI, which are all momentum indicators showing that Sandbox at this point in time is quite oversold. So if I just go and double tap here, you can see I brought up all those momentum indicators. Now, before we get into the stochastic RSI, TDI, and these two right here, let's just go focus on this RSI really quickly, because we were just talking about that Elliott wave theory comparison. And what's really interesting is it also shows on the RSI. So you can see, this wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And if you take a look at the RSI, you can see that throughout that uptrend, this is really where that Elliott wave started. But you can see, a level of support coming into play, right? And you can see, it bouncing off of that level of support during each impulsive wave. So you can see wave 1, wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, fall below end of the move, right? So once you fall below that level of support, that's typically the end. Now, if we take a look today, you can see something very, very similar playing out where you have, already you have that first kind of move here. This was that first move. And, we did get a move like that as well back here. So you had that first move. Let me go and highlight that a little bit. You can see right there, there's that first move off of the bottoms, off of the really low bottoms. And you can see, that first move right there on the RSI. And if we take a look, right here, you can see, there's that first move right there. And taking a look at the RSI, there's that first move, right? And then you can see that's when the Elliott impulsive wave starts, and you have wave 1, 2, 3, 4. So wave 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we are able to bounce off of this level of support, we could get that wave 5. And that wave 5 could then be, a large bearish divergence, just like you started doing here, where you started making higher highs on the price, yet you started to make lower highs on the RSI. And for me, bearish divergences are one of those big indicators that I hold a lot of weight to. So right now, we're still above that level of support. I do want to see a bounce off of this, just like we saw a bounce back here during the previous wave 4. So you can see right now, we're in that wave 4 correction. And if we were to compare it to this wave 4 correction, you can see that was a bounce off of the trend line. And if we get a bounce off of the trend line, we may get something like this once again. So I'll highlight it, something like that little spike right there. And that little spike was this one that took you, to the top of that level of resistance. And also, you can see, this line right here, that's a bearish divergence. So you can see, as the price has its last move up, so its last hoorah here, it has its last impulsive wave, what happens is the price really weakens, and then you can see, the RSI starts to come down, but, the price goes and makes it a higher high, and that's a bearish divergence. Right now, I'm not seeing any big bearish divergence, maybe a bit of a bearish divergence with this, but I'm not seeing like a considerably lower high in the RSI. If we see something like this, on the next move up, then this will probably be the end of that wave. So for example, if we go up here and we have a lower high and then we fall through down here, that would probably be the end of this large impulsive wave, and most likely you're going to come into a large downtrend. All right, so let's go take a look at the next things, which is the stochastic RSI. Looks like it has started to bottom out. That's a good thing. As you can see in the past, during these impulsive waves, wave 2 right here, if we track that down, boom, right there, right at the bottom, and then a quick reversal. You can see right here, boom down here, and then a reversal back up. You can see, boom down here, a little bit of a reversal there. So, bottoming out on the stochastic RSI is a good thing. If we take a look at the stochastic RSI, the TDI, you can see we're actually performing a bit of a shark fin here. So you can see that red line coming out of the Bollinger Bands. And anytime you do that, basically it just shows that it's really oversold. So you've got 3 indicators here showing, how oversold Sandbox is right now. And the last bullish note that we have here is just that swing high retest. So you can see, this swing high right here, make a new high, come back down, and then just literally test that level of resistance as support right there. So that's really positive. It's called a support resistance flip. And you can see, boom, up, down, change this level of resistance into support. All right, so let's go over our bearish notes now. And the first thing is this RSI comparison. So right now, I'm just going to go and take a look at that RSI one more time because there's actually 2 ways that this can play out. If we do break it right now, obviously that'd be pretty bearish because the last time we broke that level of support in the previous uptrend, that was the end. So because we haven't gotten a confirmed, test here, we haven't had a bounce up yet, there's still a possibility for this to break down, but I'd give it a low likelihood. All right, so the next thing that I want to go over is the weekly Bollinger Bands, which look like they're topping out. And if I just go to FX indicators, you can see Bollinger Bands right here. I'm on the weekly time frame, by the way, and you can see these Bollinger Bands come up. And they basically just show, when impulsive waves are ending on a high time frame. And you can see right here that it looks like, you're starting to top out. That was when we topped out before. We came up here, we started to go sideways, and then we fell back in. And that was, when we had that large correction. And if we take a look right now, it looks like we're getting to the top, or it looks like we are at the top right now. However, it's not starting to point back down, which is why I say that we're close to topping out. So there is still the possibility for an impulsive wave, up to, around like $15 or around $10, due to the reasons that we stated before. But it is important to note that this move is, far from early. It's actually very, very close to finishing. All right, so that's pretty much everything for Sandbox. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.